I think I've probably, I know it sounds a bit cliche, I think I've always known.
I basically thought I was the only one.
At school, I realised that it was mostly boys that I was looking at rather than girls.
My first crush on a boy was probably when I was about 15.
I was probably about 7 or 8 years old, and I was like, I think that's me.
I was about 18 years old when I first knew I was gay.
It's not a case of knowing, but at the age of about 14, I started getting a bit confused with my feelings, and I think it took about 2 to 3 years for me to actually discover that I was gay.
I mean, even just trying to sort of say the words "I'm gay," you know, two words, but probably the two biggest words someone that's gay will ever have to say.
I thought, oh, you know, it's probably just a phase. You know, it happens to sort of teenagers.
I mean, I didn't come out till I was 25, and to a degree, I've always regretted that. I wish I was a bit braver and a bit. But again, I was, you know, so worried about people's reaction and what my family might say, and you know, would they abandon me, and what my friends might say. And
so I had sort of a sleepover with a few friends, and we had a game of Truth or Dare.
My best friend, Mick, his older sister's a lesbian, and she told him when he was a kid, you know, Damien's going to one day tell you that he's gay, and you need to be okay with that. And he was really good and really supportive.
Later that night, then one of them, sort of after the lights were out or whatever, then one of my friends kissed me, and so that was my first girlfriend. So I think that was I was quite lucky in that respect.
A lot of people just weren't surprised. Some people were surprised. Family were more surprised.
I had to build up the courage and sit down with them one evening and just tell them, and it's probably one of the hardest things I've ever had to do. And to be honest, they were really disappointed at first. I didn't really cope very well with that because I've never disappointed my parents before.
I was incredibly tearful. I could barely speak. My mouth was really dry. My heart was pounding, and I was worried that they were going to say, "Well, you know, that's terrible and how disgusting and you're a freak and all that kind of stuff." And it was the total opposite.
The more people you tell, the easier it becomes. You realise that there are very few adverse reactions out there to be had.
Even just knowing that two people in your life really care about you and want to continue to care about you is really a quite special thing, if I'm honest.
I moved to uni, I could start to be myself and meet people that were on my level, that were more educated and more acceptable to different people.
I'm very much of the opinion that I'm a whole person rather than just one thing. So my work, my friends, my family, the fact that I run, go to the gym and things like that, they're the things that define me, and my sense of humour. Rather than the fact that I'm gay, that's just an aspect of who I am, not 100% what I am.
The second you leave, it's completely different. No one is judged on who they were in high school, and no one is measured by that. It's not a measure of your success in life, and so you just have to push through it, and as soon as it's over, everything changes. Like, it's an even playing field from that point onwards.
I think it's having people around you that are in the same position as you, going through the same things, can be there for you and you're there for them. It's just getting a support network that's not within your family, because your family don't really appreciate what you've been through, what you're going through, and you're going to be living a different kind of lifestyle to them.
You'd start to realise that you're not alone in this situation at all. There are loads of people out there who are going through the same sort of issues as yourself.
I used to be deeply ashamed of being gay, almost embarrassed by it, or not almost embarrassed, you know, embarrassed by it. I felt it was almost an Achilles heel. I've met a lot of gay people, I've talked to a lot of gay people, I've learnt about their experiences and how they feel, and I'm not alone.
We all have difficult times, but it is just a period, and you get over it, you know, it ends. And I can't tell you how long that will be. It could be years, but it's not for the rest of your life.
If you're struggling,
You don't have to wait it out.
LGBT Youth Scotland have a range of services
To help support you through this difficult time.
But remember,
It gets better.
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 It gets better.